Oh, Grand Rising. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Take this moment, go tag your friends, tag your family members. Let them know Spiritual Success TV is live. With that being said, let's go ahead and activate the Success Mind. Let me just pull this up on Facebook and make sure we're live over there. Come on in. Give me a great Grand Rising, Grand Afternoon, wherever you are tuning in from. We are so thankful and so grateful to be here. Come on, who's here today? Let me see you. Yes, we're live. And let me just throw the Grand Rising comment up. And we're going to be ready to go. Okay. All right. Something is acting wonky. So I'm going to just leave that like that. Okay. Who's here? Hey, Marcus, thanks for joining us live. Yes. And all of the family, come on in. Let's just activate very quickly. Take a good, healing, deep breath in and exhale. Relax fully, totally, and completely. Crown of your head, come on, all the way down to the sole of your feet. We are anchored. We turn the focus inward. Come on, go and just bow your head briefly. Turn that head inward to the rich inner life and breathe. And exhale. We are just stirring up the spirit of gratitude, giving thanks for all things. I feel so strongly in my spirit. I feel so strongly and so excited today because I know, beloved, good things are happening. So we have been on the journey of our first dimension of our spiritual success life path, right? Of awareness over the past few weeks. And we have really covered some important ground because we talked about being able to see your patterns because you can't transform what you refuse to see. We talked about reclaiming sovereignty because awareness opens the door, but sovereignty allows you to walk through the door of your awareness and command change. And so last week we talked about the importance of moving from reaction to conscious response and how important that is. So we want to conclude this level of awareness today. And we want to talk about something that's very important. And that is that your life is a mirror of what you are unaware of. And please write that down and put that in your note. Your life is a mirror of what you are unaware of. And so in keeping with this, we want to look at this. Your triggers are your teachers. Now, I want to go deeper with this, all right? Because what we do in our society is that we throw around buzzwords and something that is intended to be life-altering and transformational becomes a cliche. And we don't want to do that. And so we have a tendency to do that we just make buzzwords out of things. And so we understand the word trigger has been around, probably for the last decade as a popular, trending, buzzing word. But I want to go deeper because I want us to really look at this for what it really is and then use it for the benefit that it will bring to us, all right? So, beloved, when something strongly activates you emotionally, it's often revealing something inside that wants attention, that wants healing, or that wants integration. We're going to make some progress here. I feel this all in my spirit. I feel a shifting. I feel like the writer of the book of Acts, when it said, and suddenly there came a sound from heaven of a rushing mighty wind. I'm feeling that all in my spirit today. I'm feeling a rushing mighty wind, rushing in and rearranging things on the inside. Y'all know my saying, more is caught than taught. So allow your spirit to catch the rustling of this mighty rushing wind. All right. So when you are reacting very strongly emotionally, it's because there's something in you that wants attention, rather it's healing, rather it's integration. But here's the thing I want you to really understand. The mirror, your life is a mirror, right? Everything you see is on display. The mirror is not about blame. And we know that in our community, we don't deal with blame because that's a useless emotion. It's not about blame. What is it about? Y'all talk back to me. It's about information. Yes. The mirror doesn't accuse you. Please put this in your note. It reveals you. So what happens is that we go through most of our life not really paying attention to all the wonderful clues that your body and your life is showing you, right? And so today, we're going to really look at this because the mirror doesn't accuse you, it reveals you. So let's understand this mirror, because if you can grasp this concept that you're not trying to change the mirror, as Neville Goddard says, you change your face. Remember, your life is just a reflection of who you are, what's going on, and the triggers that trigger you emotionally are teachers, right? So how do we understand the mirror? Your outer experiences, we know this, is reflecting your inner condition, your inner state. Sometimes it's showing you unhealed wounds. It's showing you hidden fears. Sometimes it's showing you parts of yourself. This is what I want you to get. Showing you parts of yourself that you have disowned. You are not recognizing. You will not acknowledge. It's revealing unspoken desires. It is revealing unspoken desires, right? Sometimes the mirror is showing you boundaries that need to be strengthened, or identity shifts that want to emerge in your life. So what happens, like, when we start looking at these triggers? I remember years and years and years ago, I heard this concept being explained. And it talked about, and I heard the person that was explaining this saying, the things that upset you the most about other people is revealing a shadow side of you that you have not dealt with or acknowledged or have not integrated. And so when you think about the things that really make you angry, when you see people operating in that way, they were saying that's a shadow part of you that you need to acknowledge. Not that you are that way, hear me well, not that you are that way, but there's something about the boldness, the unnerving of whoever is operating, the ability to speak freely and boldly. That may be a part of your shadow self that you have not acknowledged, because you may still be hiding. You may still be operating, wishing you could speak your mind more, wishing you could tell the truth more. I want y'all to talk back to me. Let's take a pause right here. Talk back to me in the comments, and let's be really honest. How many of you have played it safe over the years and not really spoken the absolute truth? We're not talking about being belligerent. We're not talking about shaming and bullying and telling people off. That's not the level I'm looking for. What I'm looking for here is when you have a truth that you live by, but you're afraid to express it because you don't want people to misunderstand you. You don't want people to treat you wrongly or exclude you. You want to preserve self. And that is a real thing. And so when we see other people who are bold, who may be brazen, who don't care what people think, they just going to speak their truth, it may be a little irritating. So that is the understanding or the premise behind how sometimes what irritates you is revealing something about you. I remember one of my family members said when they were young, they would look at one of our aunties that could just cuss somebody out at the drop of a hat, and they were wishing that they could be that way. First, it irritated them, but then they recognized that, gee, I wish I could just say what I want to say and don't worry about what people think. So it's in that kind of context. So let's look at the different types, right? Because there are different types of mirrors, right? And we want to look at this in a healthy and practical way. Why? Because we want to get all the keys. We want to be aware of all the clues that the emotional body is sending us so that we could change what the mirror is reflecting, right? So mirror one is the wound mirror. And what that means is that sometimes a situation can activate a past pain. Maybe it was feeling dismissed, right? Not being heard, not being seen. The mirror reveals areas that still need compassion and healing. Because remember, we want to change the face, not change the mirror, because this is what we do. We try to change what we're looking at without changing us. And we want to change us in a very compassionate way. Now, I want you to hear this because this is important, right? When you see a wound or feel a wound being triggered, it is asked to be witnessed and not judged. Again, we don't want to get caught in a trap of digging, judging, shaming. That's not who we are, and that's not what we want, right? The wound wants to be witnessed. Okay, I see you. I feel you. I understand. I'm feeling very lonely. I'm feeling very vulnerable. I'm feeling dismissed. It just wants to be witnessed. And then you're going to ask some very simple questions to move from there, right? So the first mirror could be a wound mirror. The second mirror is where I want to really stress for us is the mirror of desire, right? For example, sometimes what bother us and others reflect, like I said, something we secretly desire. Someone who is bold, someone who sets strong boundaries, someone who takes risk, right? Someone that goes for what they want. Talk back to me. How many of you have seen people, I've seen this even in my industry many times, people that were doing very poorly. And then after a while, you see them thriving. It's because they decided to take a risk. They decided to make a different decision. And that's what this is all about in this season now, beloved. We want to get to a place where we feel safe enough to make a different decision and act on that decision. Please write that down. Sometimes irritation is admiration in disguise. So in this season, we want to be able to make a different decision and then act on that decision and be very honest about what we are desiring. The third mirror is the boundary mirror. Certain patterns repeat because boundaries have not been established. You keep letting the same people in. You keep allowing the same treatment, the same behavior. You keep allowing the same manipulation, the same control. And sometimes the trigger is saying you have to put some loving boundaries in place, right? Sometimes you're overextending yourself, over responsibility, feeling you have to be the one to fix everything. Or it could be putting a boundary in place, like I said, being taken for granted. You're allowing the control, the manipulation, the disrespect, the overextension. You're being taken for granted, but you are allowing it, beloved, because no one can take advantage of you. Please put that in your notes. No one can take advantage of you. Being emotionally drained, right? Going around people or engaging in arguments or conversations that you know is going to drain the life out of you. This is where you must stand firmly in your authority and set those boundaries and put them in place. So when we start reframing and we start making things look different in the mirror, it's because we're doing what? We're changing us. So what are we saying in a nutshell? When we talk about awareness and being aware that your life is a mirror of what you're unaware of, we want to start picking up on these clues, picking up on what is being shown to us. This is where you want to start empowering yourself and start reframing what's being shown. The mirror is not punishment, right? Let's take a breath right here. I want to breathe and relax and hear myself. What you are seeing, what you are not satisfied with, is not a punishment. I really want us to relax right here, because this is the beginning of how we're going to shift and reframe ourselves so that the mirror reflects something different. The mirror is not punishment. It is guidance. What do you mean, Dr. E? It's showing you where you are not consciously present. You are not consciously aware. This is what the mirror is showing. It's showing where you are being neglectful of yourself, where you might be loathing yourself, shaming yourself, and it's showing up in your external reality. It's not punishment. Spirit is saying, really let that sink in. You're not being punished. You're not a misfit. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not a black sheep. You're not the scapegoat. You're not the mistake. You're being given a beautiful tool of guidance. This is how life reveals what it is ready to evolve. Please put that in your note. Okay? So I'm just feeling Spirit saying, anchoring right here, because this is where the shift is coming from. When you recognize what you're seeing is not here to punish you, it's here to guide you. There are things in your life that's ready to evolve. So now, on this level of awareness, awareness turns every trigger into information instead of accusation. Write that down. Awareness now turns every trigger into information instead of accusation. So you're not allowing yourself to be shamed in any kind of way, right? So this is how we reframe, and you know this because we've done this many times. We want to transmute. We want to translate the triggers, right? Very simply, use this translation method. When you feel the trigger, when something activates you, what did we talk about the other week? The sacred pause. You want to stop and simply ask, what happened? What happened? What just happened? And then you want to describe the event neutrally, meaning without judgment, without ascribing a meaning that is blaming or shaming. We've talked about this many times. You've experienced this many times. You could be fine. All of a sudden, an emotion is triggered. You're teary-eyed. You want to cry. You could be watching a movie. You could be strolling on social media, and all of a sudden, you feel melancholy. You want to cry. You've just been triggered. There's some information that's ready to be transmuted, that's ready to be transformed. Pause. Ask yourself, what just happened? What happened? And then describe it in a neutral way. Not trying to figure out what it means, just describe it. I feel lonely right now. I wish I had more support. I wish I had some help. Whatever it is, you just describe it, right? What did I feel? I felt lonely. What happened? I shifted out of feeling fine. Now I feel melancholy. I feel angry. I feel hurt. I feel embarrassed. I feel frustrated. Whatever the feeling is, just name it without judgment. Without judgment. Then when you look at it, what meaning did I assign to that feeling? That means something's wrong with me. I said to myself, I'm not getting any help because something's wrong with me. That's a meaning that you gave it. I'm struggling because no one loves me. That's a meaning you gave it. So then now, this is the big question, and we want to conclude with this. What might this be revealing about me? About me. And then again, you want to do it in a very neutral way. It's revealing about me that I'm afraid to take risk. I'm afraid to be seen. I'm afraid to put myself out there. I'm afraid of what people are going to think of me. I'm afraid of how they're going to judge me. I'm afraid. I think that there's not enough. There's not enough for me and everybody else. I'm overprotective. I engage in over. What is this saying about me? So you want to look at what is this saying? And as we start translating this and we start looking at the different wound desires, right? The examples, rather it's a wound, rather it's a desire, rather it's a boundary, or rather it is belief. What awareness is emerging for you? When awareness enters a situation, listen, beloved, that mirror becomes wisdom. So you're writing that down. When awareness enters the mirror, when you can see it playing in front of you, rather it's in your environment, rather it's in a person. Remember, this is not about a guilt. It's not about shame. It's not about blame. Guilt says I did something wrong. Shame says I am wrong. Blame takes everything and puts it outside of yourself where you can never take responsibility for your spiritual success. What is emerging for you? Remember, your life is a mirror. It is showing you what you are unaware of. You want to pay attention because it's wisdom. It is divine gold, beloved, waiting for you to transform your life. So again, I just want to breathe here and relax. Take a deep breath. Let's relax. Because what you want to know is that awareness, again, is one of your most powerful gifts. But that's the beginning of the key to freedom. So when you start reflecting on recent triggers, what is the situation that really activated that emotion? Y'all, I can't stress this enough. I can remember going into certain environments, and every time I would go in that environment, I would be triggered. I would be fine all week, all month, whatever the case was. But every time I went in that environment, I would be triggered. And the trigger was an emotion telling me something about me. What we do is we start judging the environment. We start judging the people. We start giving name to it. We start blaming. We start shaming. That's not what the mirror, the reflection is about. It wants to show you something about yourself. It's full of wisdom for you. It's full of divine guidance. It's not there to judge you. That emotion that comes up wants to be witnessed so it can evolve, so it can change. Every time I went in that environment, that trigger was telling me, you feel insecure. You feel like you're not good enough. You feel like you're not measuring up enough, right? You feel like they're all doing better than you. You don't have what they have. That is what was coming up in that environment. That was not about them. It was about me. So what did I do? I didn't try to change the environment. I changed me. And I can distinctly remember, this is well over probably 25 years ago, 25 years ago. I remember when I made the decision, right? We always make a decision that no one in that room is better off than I am. No one in that room is better than me. I deserve to be in that room, and I could walk in the fullness of my sovereignty and be fine. Remember, it's about you. It's not about them. It's about you. When I walked in the fullness of my sovereignty, I could be loving. I can be gracious, right? I can be inviting. I could be approachable because it's not about them. I'm changing me. And when I change me, that environment miraculously transformed. Why did it transform? Really, because I transformed, and now the world is reflecting back to me what I'm giving off. So, in closing, as we bring this awareness series to a close, right? We want to go to the next step of awakening. And awakening is about what we're talking about, right? The mirror is never there to shame you. It's there for guidance. It's there because something wants to be evolved, transformed, transmuted. So, beloved, I want to really put this out today because I sense this is your time. This is your season for upgrade. We're not changing the mirror, we're changing the face. The mirror is only reflecting and giving back what's going on in your internal state. So I invite you, let's have a chat this week. If we've never had a chat, go to YolondaSanders.com, right? And go and fill out a private session form, and we can have a conversation. There's the URL, all right? So awareness is the doorway. What you do after the door is open, that's awakening. And we are in another phase. The whole world is in another phase of awakening and ascending. And I want you to come along and ascend with us, all right? So, beloved, let's be a blessing today. You can sow seed if you desire to. You know the drill. I'm not going to put that up. You can sow at YolondaSanders.com, and we'll go from there. All right, lovelies, I'm going to release you with many blessings for the rest of your day and your week until our next spiritual success connection. Bye for now.